You'll never make any more progress than what you can imagine. I think it was Albert Schweitzer who said, what is bad is not that man lives and dies, but what dies within man while he lives. And perhaps the most important thing that dies within man while he lives is his imagination. The thing that keeps you going and keeps you creative is to never lose your imagination. Always dream of things that are better and think about ways to reach those things.
He was addicted to innovation.
When you heard him speak, it was clear it's a company to create things that are better.
This absolutely permeates the company.
What is unbelievable to me about Dr. Bose is that he dreamed of a place in which all of us had the opportunity to fulfill our own personal dreams.
Well, you've heard the concept of time-telling versus clock-building. So, you know, somebody could be a great time-teller, and as long as they're alive and they're there, they can tell you the time. But if you could build a clock that future generations could use to tell time, then it has staying power, it's lasting, it's regenerative. And Dr. Bose was a great inventor, but he built a clock that can churn out inventions long into the future.
I was born in Philadelphia in 1929. Growing up in this country in those years was very interesting, especially with an Indian father and an American mother. It turned out that I had great interest in things electrical. We didn't have enough money to buy new trains, and so I would buy scrap ones, and then I would fix them. But that gave you all the interest in repairing things.
My dad, you know, he was just fascinated by electronics and started repairing radios. And out of the basement in high school had a radio repair shop. It became widely known throughout Philadelphia, and all the guys in the shops that sold the vacuum tubes knew my dad.
I had a burning desire to learn how to design these things. Then it came time in '47 to go to school. I really thought, this is it. I mean, this is survival. I don't know how I'm going to last one term in here when I saw the competition. I was the first one in the cafeteria at 7 o'clock every morning. I just studied and studied and studied. And lo and behold, I got grades enough to get a scholarship.
Amar is a brilliant man in general, mathematically very, very deep.
He had been thrown into situations that were beyond what he thought he was capable of, and yet he learned that sooner or later he rose to the occasion. He felt that the lesson for him, which he shared with us, was that you are capable of much more than you think you are. And sometimes as the teacher, the best thing that teacher can do is jolt you by throwing you into something where you feel like you've been thrown into the deep end of the pool.
After he graduated, he had a conversation with a professor that told him that he would like him to come back to MIT and teach. And he said, absolutely not. He said, I have no interest in teaching. All I want to do is research.
He said he was in the pool at MIT one day, and as he got out, someone extended his hand and said, congratulations.
I said, for what? He said, the fall catalog's out at MIT, and you're on the faculty. I didn't have the wisdom to know that I, in fact, would really enjoy teaching. And given my choice, I would have never done this. What I found out is there's one key secret to the whole thing. whatever job you're given, and that wasn't one that I looked forward to, ask yourself, how can I do that job better, in fact, than it has ever been done before? Here's time here, and I will put years.
His teaching became legendary. Not only are you learning about acoustics, but you're learning about life.
And vertically, we will plot knowledge.
He loved mentoring. Students just followed him like the Pied Piper. They just went with him.
And it started off very high. By about 59, it was down here somewhere. And it began turning around in 59, and it's come up a little bit since then. So if you go home tonight knowing less than when you came, this is exactly the story of my life from 1956 till now.
He had so many audio ideas that in the 64 time period, he reached a conclusion that forming a company would be an outlet for innovation, for research.
Dr. Bose came up to me one day and said, "Why don't you come to work for my company?" I said, "What company? What are you talking about?" And he said, "Well, I don't have a company now, but I'm thinking of starting one. We would work on our government contracts. And then at night, we would put in what we call the second shift, when we would start working on all of the audio ideas."
We had been doing research for 12 years at MIT, and it involved this spherical speaker, an eighth of a sphere that you put in a corner. When we formed the company, we thought that should be our first product.
The hours were, I would say, extreme. Only a few people to do everything. I built every 2201 myself by hand. You know, we had a great product that everybody liked, but nobody bought. So in 1967, we came to a crisis point in the company.
You have to have the courage to be different. You can never do anything better unless it's different.
So when it came time to figuring out whether we would be in the audio business and how we could come up with a new idea, what Dr. Bose said is, "Look, I want to go away and think on my own." A week went by, we got into the second week, and we were really getting nervous. You know, maybe he's not okay.
I visualized that thing. It happened automatically. You can't do it by purpose, but I literally saw that thing in thousands and thousands of homes. I knew that whatever was going to come out of this thing at the end was going to be right for the home and was going to outperform anything that ever been in a home before, and therefore people would want it.
Finally, he drove up, and he got out of his car, and he had a sheaf of papers with him, and he said, "I have an idea." And in January of 1968, the 901 was introduced to the marketplace.
If you feel that it's real, I'm on trial, and I'm here again, your prison. Like a coin in your mint, I am dented, and I'm spared with hot treason.
Sales took off, and the company took off, and it spread around the world.
Take me to the pilot for control. Take me to the pilot of your soul. Take me to the pilot, lead me to the train.
In 1978, we were in Europe, and on the way back, for the first time, they had actual headphones instead of just those tubes. And so he was pretty excited about that because he said, "Oh my God, thank God, finally something that might sound, you know, decent." And put them on and realized that, well, with these things on your ears, the sound from the airplane came in much, much more. I think he was very disappointed. So he took out a pad and pen and started writing equations. By the time we reached Boston, he had a concept which he thought might work.
It took over 15 years, before we were able to make the concept work. And during that period, there were many people in the company who would say, why are you wasting your time on this technology?
The concept that you could cancel sound with sound was the most ridiculous. It's like putting somebody on the moon for me, right?
I said, do you know how much money we've spent on this? $50 million. And I'll never forget his response. He said, $50 million? If this was a publicly traded company, I would have been fired years ago. We made a version for first and business class on American Airlines. The customer feedback was spectacular. This just launched the company to the next level.
For every company, there is a cycle of business. You innovate and you bring it to market. Your customers pay you for the value you've created, and then your company grows. And then you invest the money that you earned to innovate some more. And so there's this circle, and every company goes through that circle. But what makes the difference between one kind of company and another is which part of the circle is the purpose. We exist to perform the innovations.
So I think that's kind of the guiding principle in action, right? Just using research and technology to develop things that have real benefits.
The wonderful thing is the gift Dr. Bose has given not just to us today, but to future generations, is this invention of the company that's an innovation engine.
The R&D building is the beating heart of Bose Corporation.
And it happens, right? Again, if it's the noise-canceling headphones or the Bluetooth speaker or a home theater system, you're guaranteed the first time a customer experiences it, you know, moment of surprise, right? Where people make this kind of trout face.
When you design a speaker, you have to understand that that speaker is going to be placed in somebody's living room. So what we did is in the R&D center, we built living rooms of all different sizes and shapes. Our speakers literally are played in every single environment.
The anechoic chamber.
The anechoic chamber is extraordinarily quiet. There's no reflections in there.
This is where it all starts for speaker development.
We're in the bunker. We take speakers and the full product and we put them in the room. They run for a bare minimum of 50 days. Other things that are in development will run for 7 years or more. There's a variation of white noise called pink noise. We also have the torture disc. If you want to see if the gear is going to live, play Norwegian death metal. It's going to get real loud. Are you ready? Okay.
I've seen Dr. Bose take visitors around and point with pride at something his employees created that he had nothing personally to do with it.
I'm Roman Litovsky. This is a home of Tiny Systems Group. Many years ago, I decided for myself that I'm going to help or to initiate the design of portable or basically digital music systems, starting from very big to very small. And I believe in my list there were maybe 6 items. Let's count them. This one, this became SoundDock 10. This is our biggest product, SoundDock 10. Now we go one size smaller, and you have SoundDock and SoundDock Portable. Now let's go another size down, and we have this product, SoundLink. Now we go one step down, and we go to this size product, SoundLink Mini. Isn't it logical there should be some other creature of a smaller size? And I think something like that may happen. And it works.
In June of last year, I got a call and said, Dr. Bose has been rushed to urgent care up at Leahy Clinic, and we don't know if he's going to make it through the night. He was in a hospital bed in intensive care. His son Banu had come into the room as well, and he started playing one of Dr. Bose's favorite classical pieces and had Bluetooth connected it to a SoundLink Mini that I had in my pocket. And I pulled the thing out and I put it right in front of him, right in front of his head, and just saw him enjoy that classical piece. And he was fulfilled.
So people would ask, what's your vision for the future of the company? And Dr. Bose would say, I'm not the one who's going to be driving the future of the company. It's you. It's going to be in your hands in the next generation of leaders.
And so there is this question, who or what could possibly be the same kind of steward that he was as an owner of this entity called Bose Corporation?
Dr. Bose would tell me, we're working on something that I think is very important for the company. I never really completely understood what he was talking about until the day that they announced the gift.
I came into my office, and I remember exactly how we were sitting. And I never really worried about what we were going to talk about because the conversation flowed quite easily and naturally from one topic to the next. And he told me that he had decided to give the majority of the Bose Corporation to MIT. And I remember sitting there with, tears come to my eyes just remembering it, with, tears coming to my eyes, and looking at him, trying to figure out what he had just said. And I stammered insufficient thanks. But then I said, but you've neglected to tell me something very important. He said, what's that? I said, what would you like MIT to do with these resources? And he said, whatever you think is best.
The gift is absolutely remarkable act of generosity. We benefit from how well the company runs itself, but we have no say on how the company should run itself. You can only marvel at the concept.
His gift goes on. I teach, I have students. They all know what I learned from Amar Bose. Many of them have gone on and they're carrying that forward.
The gift is the gift to MIT, and also the gift was to the employees of Bose Corporation.
And the beauty of it is, as we do this and as we grow, we generate more profit to do more research, and we provide a dividend to MIT each year to support their mission to drive technical education and research, which is good for the world, it's good for us. We get more engineers and talented folks out of MIT to come here and work with Bose. It's a beautiful synergy between MIT and Bose.
It's exciting to see what could be coming out in the future and the areas that people are willing to risk to go into to be different.
It has never looked so thrilling, so encouraging, so bright as it does right now.
The best things we've ever done are things no one was thinking about until they experienced them. And then they couldn't imagine ever living without them.
Dr. Bose took tremendous satisfaction in seeing a company that he had built generating results and technologies and benefits for people far beyond what he imagined, and he knew that this company was going to go on long into the future.
What is bad is not that man lives and dies, but what dies within man while he lives. And perhaps the most important thing that dies within man while he lives is his imagination. The thing that keeps you going and keeps you creative is to never lose your imagination. Always dream of things that are better and think about ways to reach those things.